It's easy to pretend everything is merry and bright on the outside during this season, but on the inside, we're not always feeling those Christmas feels. One primary feeling we're usually singing about at the holiday: fear. But while it doesn't show up in a song, lyrics, or in the rhythm, fear definitely shows up in our lives. Sometimes at Christmas. Certainly throughout the year, it arrives. For a lot of us, whether we realize it or not, fear has a way of creeping in at Christmas and making our joy far less joyful. That can happen for all kinds of reasons. There's a fear that comes from the pressure of passing tests before you get to go on winter break at the end of that semester, or seeing family members who we don't get along with or don't even really know that well, or maybe meeting our parents' expectations of a good holiday season. No matter what your fears may be about, the good news is the Christmas story gives us an answer for those fears. When the kid arrived, well, it was the first step in changing everything about the way that we respond to our fear. So to help us today, we're going to look back at the first Christmas. Gabriel appeared to her, Mary, and said, "Greetings, favored woman. The Lord is with you." This wasn't some random man on the street saying this to Mary. This was a message directly from God. If you were Mary, how would you have responded in that moment? I would have been freaked out. If you've never searched up on AI what a biblically accurate angel looks like, this will tell you why they always say, "Do not be afraid." We read from Luke's story of what took place, that Mary responded by being both confused and disturbed when she saw him. Sensing her fear, Gabriel responded with a line that would change her life forever. "Don't be afraid, Mary," the angel told her, "for you have found favor with God." In one sentence, Gabriel not only encouraged Mary to not be afraid, but gave her a reason to not stay afraid. She found favor with God, and it was this favor, this knowing that God was with her and for her, that gave her confidence. Here's how the angel Gabriel described it. He said, "You will conceive and give birth to a son, and you will name him Jesus. He will be very great and will be called the Son of the Most High. The Lord God will give him a throne of his ancestor David, and he will reign over Israel forever. His kingdom will never end." Gabriel assured her with this promise, saying, "For nothing will be impossible with God." Mary had every reason to be afraid, but Gabriel's words served as a reminder that God was with her in the midst of those fears. No fear can keep us from experiencing the good that God has for us. Despite Mary's initial fear, God made it possible. And even in her fear, Mary knew that God was with her. At the heart of the Christmas story is the reality that Jesus came to earth to be God with us. Jesus' arrival in the world showed that to Mary, and it can show it to us at the same time today. The kid changes the way that we see fear. And because of that kid, we have an opportunity to respond to our fears in the same way that Mary did, with confidence and faith in God who makes all things possible. Because the kid changes how you see fear. Sometimes the most difficult thing to do when fears arise is to simply remember what is true. So if fear pops up in your life this Christmas season, here's what I want you to do. Remember what's true about God, Jesus, and yourself. Start simply by remembering that, like Mary, you can walk forward because you are not walking alone. Remember that the kid changes how you see your fear. Christmas is meant to be a time of joy. Maybe the way that you make sure that's true for you is simply by remembering what Jesus did for us. This week, I hope that you remember that the kid changes how we see fear and that we can be confident in our faith of what he's done for us. Have a great week.